Ethan had grown used to the echo of his own footsteps. In the orphanage where he spent every year of his life since infancy, silence was the loudest companion. There were other children, sure, some loud, some troubled, some hopeful, but Ethan learned early that attachment was dangerous. Kids came and went, he stayed. If he got too close, it only hurt more when they disappeared with their new families, waving goodbye with forced promises to visit one day, promises that never came true. He remembered being 8 when a couple visited and spent all afternoon playing with him. He allowed himself to hope. He even went to sleep that night hugging a spare pillow, pretending it was his new mom. The next morning, he woke to find they had chosen someone else instead. From that day on, he never let himself dream about being adopted again. By 16, he aged out of the cute and adoptable category. He didn't cry when they told him it was time to move into a shared housing program. He didn't scream or throw things. He simply packed the few belongings he had, worn shoes, 2 shirts, and a notebook filled with quotes he wrote to remind himself that life could one day get better. That's the thing about Ethan, he didn't hate the world. He had every reason to, but he didn't. Instead, he made a promise to himself: if no one would love me, I will at least try to become someone worth loving. He worked odd jobs, shoveling snow, sweeping shop floors, delivering newspapers, and when he finally landed a permanent position at a mechanic's garage, he treated it like a dream come true. He didn't earn much, but he didn't need much. His life was simple: wake up, fix engines, come home to a quiet apartment. Eat microwave dinners, watch other people laugh on TV. Go to sleep, repeat. But on that rainy evening, something shattered his routine. He hadn't planned to walk past the orphanage. He rarely did. It stirred too many memories. But the rain had soaked through his jacket, and the quickest route home led right past those old iron gates. He kept his head down, hands jammed in his pockets, trying not to look. But then, movement on the staircase. A small boy, maybe 7 or 8, sat huddled on the steps, shivering beneath the pouring rain. His pajamas were sticking to his skin. His shoes were mismatched. He held a teddy bear with only one button eye. Ethan froze. Every instinct told him to keep walking. This wasn't his problem. Someone from inside would come get the kid. But his feet wouldn't move. That boy looked exactly like he once had, hoping someone would notice. Slowly, he approached. "Hey, buddy," he said softly. "You'll get sick out here." The boy didn't answer. Ethan crouched down. "You waiting for someone?" A whisper, barely audible over the rain. "No one's coming." Ethan's heart stung. That was the moment his life changed, not with fireworks, but with a sentence that felt too familiar. And without thinking, he made a choice even he didn't fully understand yet. He wasn't going to walk away. Miss Clara, the head caretaker of the orphanage, stared at Ethan as though she couldn't quite believe what she was hearing. She had seen countless visitors come and go, some full of promises, others with pity, but this young man was different. He wasn't wealthy. He wasn't married. He didn't seem prepared, yet the way Liam clung to his arm said more than any formal paperwork ever could. "You understand," Miss Clara said gently, folding her hands over her desk, "that adoption isn't just a kind gesture. It's a lifelong commitment." "I know," Ethan replied steadily. "You'll need to go through evaluations, financial checks, counseling sessions." "I'll do it." She hesitated. "You're, what, 22, 23, and single?" "Yes, and you grew up here yourself," she said, watching his reaction carefully. Ethan nodded once. "That's exactly why I need to do this." She studied him for a long time before sighing. "All right, I'll start the paperwork." What followed was a whirlwind of bureaucracy. Every week seemed to bring a new hurdle: a psychological assessment, home inspection, documentation review. Officials asked questions that cut deeper than they probably realized. How will you handle discipline? What if the child develops behavioral issues? Are you sure you're not doing this out of unresolved trauma? Ethan didn't flinch. He answered honestly every time. "Yes, I have trauma. But that's exactly why I won't let him grow up feeling unloved." While the adults debated procedures, Liam waited. At first, he was cautious. When Ethan visited, he kept a small emotional distance, watching from behind cautious eyes. Every time Ethan said, "I'll be back tomorrow," Liam nodded without showing expression, never believing it fully. But Ethan always came back. He brought snacks sometimes, tools other times. He fixed the broken drawer in the playroom, repaired wobbly chairs, repainted the old swing set in the yard. He never acted like a guest. He acted like someone who belonged. One afternoon, Liam was sitting on the floor, assembling a puzzle, when Ethan sat beside him. "You know," Ethan said quietly, fitting in a blue sky piece, "I used to do puzzles here too." Liam glanced at him. "Did someone adopt you?" "No," Ethan smiled faintly, "but I survived. And now, I don't want you to just survive. I want you to live." For the first time, Liam let himself lean against him. Weeks became months. One day, Liam finally asked the question he'd been holding back. "Are you gonna leave one day, when you get tired of me?" Ethan didn't answer with words. He stood, walked to the art corner, found a marker, and returned. He held out his hand. "Give me your palm." Liam looked confused but obeyed. Ethan wrote something across it, slow and certain. "Mine." Liam stared, tears filling his eyes. He closed his fist around the word like it was treasure. That night, he slept for the first time without clutching his teddy bear, because now, he had something better to hold on to. Hope. The first morning in their new life didn't begin with perfection. It began with burnt eggs, spilled orange juice, and Ethan accidentally setting off the smoke alarm while trying to make breakfast. Liam burst into the kitchen, eyes wide. "Is the house on fire?" "Nope," Ethan coughed, waving a towel dramatically. "Just your dad trying to make scrambled charcoal." Liam laughed. A real laugh, the kind that crinkled his eyes and made his shoulders shake. They ended up eating cereal instead, sitting barefoot at the table with milk dripping from their spoons. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't neat, but it was theirs. Adjusting to fatherhood wasn't easy for Ethan. He had no role model to imitate, no bedtime routine to reference. Some nights, Liam had nightmares so intense he woke up screaming. The first time it happened, Ethan panicked. He rushed into the room, unsure whether to hug him or give him space. But when Liam reached out with trembling hands, Ethan wrapped him in his arms and whispered the words he once longed to hear. "It's okay. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." The nightmares came less often after that. School was another challenge. Some kids whispered behind Liam's back, calling him the orphan boy, or asking, "Why doesn't your mom exist?" Ethan found out when Liam came home quieter than usual and wouldn't touch his dinner. "Want to talk about it?" Ethan asked gently. Liam didn't answer. Instead, he climbed onto Ethan's lap like he was still small and buried his face in his chest. "Kids said I don't have a real family," he murmured. Ethan didn't rush to fix it with empty words. He simply held him close. "You know what I think is real," he said after a long pause. "Not the people who are related to you by blood, but the ones who stay when things get hard." Liam didn't respond verbally, but the way he clung tighter said enough. Time passed, slowly stitching their wounds closed. They made traditions. Friday night became pizza and movie night. Saturdays were for fixing things together, broken toys from donation drives, old furniture left on the street. Sometimes, Liam would say, "We should give this to another kid who needs it." One evening, after months of quiet healing, Ethan came home to find a folded paper on his bed. He opened it to see a drawing of two stick figures, one tall, one small, holding hands under a crooked rainbow. Above it were 5 words written in shaky handwriting. "Thank you for choosing me." Ethan sat on the edge of his bed and cried, openly, without shame. Later, during a school event, Liam's teacher asked him to introduce his parent to the class. Some kids said, "This is my mom," others said, "This is my dad." When it was Liam's turn, he stood tall, took Ethan's hand, and declared proudly, "This is my forever." Ethan swallowed the lump in his throat. He had once believed he wasn't chosen because something was wrong with him. Now, standing beside the boy who saw him not as a broken past, but as a future, he realized something powerful. Maybe he had been waiting all along. Not to find love, but to become it.